several years ago now, Sam Hill came, made a presentation to the council wanting certain items to potentially be donated to the Historical Society, as he had a plan to build some additional replica buildings at the Historical Society. We later found out that the board of the Historical Society did not agree to his plan, and therefore his idea of garnering these various items from our old rail yard property kind of went to the wayside. In the last 30 days, Rob Catlin has contacted me again, as he has heard of our plans to demolish the buildings, and said that they have some interest in some of the items. He's particularly interested, he said, in 2 wooden doors. Those doors are still there. There are some items that were in that presentation that Sam Hill made that have gone missing. We don't know where they are. There are a few that we identified and actually stored so someone wouldn't take them. Mr. Catlin is now prepared to send an updated list to the council, which I'm supposed to have received by now. It'll probably come in tomorrow. And he would like to visit the site this Friday along with JJ to see what items we still have and whether or not JJ could move them on their behalf. And then he would like the council to consider the donation of those items to the society. So you all would have to have that list and then make a decision about their donation. He's also asked, as of today, whether or not our date of April the 15th is a firm date for their removal of the turntable. He says that Mr. Harris is now willing to move the turntable, but they would like to postpone moving it until they hear both from the Commonwealth Transportation Board and the MPO of the approval or disapproval of their grant application. Before answering him, I wanted to speak with you all, but I don't think that we are in a position to alter that date at all. I have not contacted our prospect to see what his thoughts are, but I think our priority has to be to make that site available for its potential lease purchase. And even if there is an affirmative decision by the Transportation Board on their application, my understanding is that the money would not be available until the fall, and you can't spend the money in advance of the approval. So I think delaying till May or June is not going to get us any closer to the goal. They supposedly have the $12,000 that they can pay. Remember, we reduced the amount from 15 to 12 when we had to advance the schedule. But he will be in town this Friday to visit the site. I will not allow him to visit the site without Earl, given its condition, the fact that we've had asbestos removed and it's an uneven, unsteady site, and he still is using a cane, Mr. Catlin is, and so I don't want him going in areas where he could be injured because of the liability. But you may hear from him while he is in town, and I wanted you all to be aware of the fact that he's made that request.
Well, I'm of the opinion that we continue with the program we have set at this time. Personally, I think that we should be crazy to change anything that may cause us heartburn at a later time here, just because you agree to something that there's nothing really written in stone with him to begin with. Even at this stage, it's not. It's all supposedly still predicated on him getting that money from the
well, they claim that they can come up with the money, but he wants to wait because he thinks he can avoid their having to use funds from a source other than VDOT.
He doesn't seem to get the fact we're not going to wait. And he might as well get that fact. I don't think we want to wait. If there's anything down in that shop that we want to give to anybody, I'd rather give it to Sam right in front of Catlin, and I'd change the date from the 15th to the 14th. Tell him to hurry up and get the hell out of the road.
Your question, if I'm understanding correctly, is twofold. One is the turntable and the date, and the other is the items that they would like for us.
Well, the turntable date is his latest request, which came just this afternoon.
And you need kind of an answer for both of them.
And, my inclination, given what we're doing, is to say that's a firm date.
No,
Because
Bob
that's
wants to change it to April 14th.
Yeah, I want to change it to the 14th.
14th.
It is firm. We have played with this guy for how many years now, since I've been on the council?
We don't want to talk with him.
Just tiptoeing around. Let's
You've
just
only
do
played with him for 2 years.
Well,
The rest of us have played longer.
2
than
years
that.
longer than I want to. And I don't like what they did to Sam. I'd rather give that stuff to Sam, put a bow on it, give it to him, and just, move on with what we're
Well,
doing.
Sam's in a different position now.
I'd rather give it to him as a gift.
Oh.
It just irritates me, what that guy thinks he can do
All
to
right, the
us.
second question really is, and it's not a question until we see the items, the number and the volume, but
Which
he
we were supposed
intends.
to get 30 days right after that last request.
Yes.
Mr. Perry was supposed to compile.
That,
this.
and then.
That was what, 2 years ago?
Yes, and then I had the same conversation with him in the last 60 days. But in the last 3 weeks, I would say, he suddenly has said that they're interested again. I reminded him, that they had stopped any effort on that part, that some of the items had disappeared over time. And he's supposed to be sending me a revised list, and then he wants to, on Friday, go visit the site to determine where those items are located, and if in fact JJ could move them for him. But you still would need to take an action to donate those items to him, if in fact that is your desire. But I don't have the list to even share with you tonight. I told him that we
I
had
want
the
to
work
see
session.
the list before I make anything,
I'm just proofed what your storybook on the CNO. It's going to come out in a few weeks, and those stories are amazing. I would really like to see that whatever they could salvage be used, if I could be assured that it would be used at the Historical Society. Those things should be preserved.
You believe they'll give us that guarantee that they'll be used here?
I would like to see the list.
Yeah, and I'd like to be a guarantee that they'd be used
Well,
here.
you
Yeah.
could certainly couch the donation with the understanding that if for some reason they chose to leave, close the facility, move any of those items, that those items would be returned to the town. You could make that a provision, and we
Well,
could
I think
certainly
we
talk
should
to Dave Davis about that kind of language, but I think you also, as Jeff said, you need to see the list, and
Yeah.
I don't have it today, and it may be when they provide the list and JJ looks at where they're located, he may or may not be able to move some of them. I honestly don't know. But again, because Mr. Catlin moves around the town, talks to some of you all, I wanted you to be aware of these two requests. And I'd like to get back to him.
Question, was that one, joint or whatever came out of the ground, has that ever been removed? That someone was offering us $10,000 for it one time?
You talking about the turntable?
No,
It was the
there
thing
was a,
that Joe Sargent was
Oh,
talking
no,
about.
no, we've never gotten that far. The water
it was a,
valves and
yeah,
something.
valve or
Yeah.
something up there
No.
that somebody out in Ohio or someplace.
They were gonna make a donation to the society if the society could get us to give them a couple of those water valves, I think they were. But that, that fell through a long time ago. That was a different
I didn't know, I never
leader.
didn't know that ever came to, I know it never went through, but I didn't know. it was
Well, I don't think we
still on
can
the
wait
table.
till the April 15th date.
Yes.
It's not.
Okay.
That might be
Unless you wanted to
two
go
items he would
14.
want too. That is to be able to have us give him those valves.
I
He
don't
hasn't
think-
asked for the valves.
Okay.
I didn't know who said it, but I agree with the fact of let him look at it. We'll give it to him. It doesn't leave Clifton Forge, and the 15th is a solid date, period.
Well, I'm with you.
15th is absolutely solid date.
And
Yeah,
like that.
they've shown a
the
propensity
donation
towards delaying, so we gotta either,
Yeah.
6 years is a long time.
Yeah.
You think about it.
I really hope they
It's
can
gotta happen
keep that. I really want that thing to stay in Clifton bad,
What?
the turntable. I mean,
Well,
I hope, I know we can't,
Well, we all do, but we
Alternate
also
date,
have to
but-
do a timeline. We have to adhere to a timeline that we've sent with.
But I don't want to do anything that interrupts the guys from Harrisonburg coming down here and doing what they want to do.
Right.
That's our future. The turntable, I think, is very important. I think the stuff in the shop's very important.
He
We want
has
it Clifton
someone
Forge.
who's able to move the turntable,
Right.
Mr. Harris.
Then-
And we went down on our price,
Yes.
and we were very, I think we were very gracious in what we offered him, so
Okay.
If it gives you a lot of grief, just say, Umstead says we'll change it to the 16th at noon.
14.
16th, what I got you now?
Now you give another day.
14th at noon. High noon at Clifton Forge.